And very good morning to you. This is the Talk of the Town. I'm Faraz, and our guest this morning is Rehan Jayawickreme, all the way from down south, where he represents the people of Weligama, and hopefully is hoping to enter Parliament from that area too. Very good morning to you, Rehan Jayawickreme.
Good morning, Faraz.
So you are currently the vice leader, the deputy sort of leader of the youth wing of the SJB. Is that right?
That's right, but not for too long.
Why? Are you now classed as an old fossil?
I'm 37 years old.
That doesn't make you an old fossil.
And I'm not an old fossil. And I don't think old people are fossils anyway. But the UN doesn't classify my age group as youth anymore. And I don't think, all over the world that 37 could be classified as youth. So I plan on resigning from the post of youth vice chairman at the end of the year and to give it to someone or let the party choose someone young and who has the passion and who has the fire to hold these positions. And I think I'm going to move into more mainstream activities within the party. So just to clarify that, so that's only going to be until the end of the year.
But you do still have the zest and the firepower to carry on into the next stage.
I do, but I'm also the father of two very young children, and I got a lot of things to think about in my family sort of life as well. And I just think for us that yes, I do have the passion, yes, I do have the fire, yes, I do think I can make a difference. But I also think that one thing that this country's political system has failed to do is to groom young and talented youngsters.
Well, they seem to have got it right along with you. You've been groomed and you've been sort of cajoled into this space. But
I think for us, I was lucky enough to have the blessings and guidance of great political personalities like Mangala Samaravira, and I think I was basically trained by him during my time as the Weligama Urban Council chairman, which is why he appointed someone as young as me back then, when I was only 33, to the Weligama Urban Council. And like I said, for us, I think the only way forward for the country is that if we keep on grooming young talent, and if young talent in this country feel that people who have been in this game for as even a short time as me is not willing to make any sacrifices and hand it over to the next generation, I think I'll be doing the same thing that the people of this country don't want. I'll be doing the same thing that they don't want me to do. So that's my objective. I want to give this up to someone with the same amount of fire or more fire and more passion than what I had.
But you have you're not giving up politics. You're going into the next stage.
No, I'm not. I'm just resigning from my post as the vice chairman of the SJB. And I'll be going into more mainstream activities of the party. I'm already a working committee member. I'm already the chairman of the LGBTIQ Reforms Commission of the party. I'm the assistant secretary, the only non-parliamentarian assistant secretary of the SJB National Reforms Commission. I'm the social welfare and development secretary to the leader of the opposition. So I think I have plenty of posts that need work on and that I can contribute towards. And like I said, I think the youth should be handled by the youth and not by the aging youth who are now entering
but what do
their 30.
But what do the aging youth say when they see the horror, the near horror of what our foreign minister did, getting himself involved way above his station? He's the foreign minister, but he decided to lecture the Canadian head of state over its own matter with India. What do you say? Do you sort of stand back and cringe and say, oh my God, really? Did this guy actually do this?
As soon as I went to Anglican school, and as soon as I heard this, the first thing that I said to myself was, Holy Mother of God. That actually came into my vocabulary, because I have now a lot of people on social media have asked me, not a lot of people, a very selective few runilists have said, what experience do you have or what expertise do you have to speak about this matter?
Yeah.
I have something what most politicians don't have, which is something that most human beings have, which is called common sense.
Right.
And it doesn't take Einstein or it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Minister Ali Sabri should not have got involved in this matter at all. It was a problem between India and Canada. Now, who are we in the middle? Where this tiny little blip on the ocean that is having the worst possible economic crisis that we have ever had in our history of 75 years, and we make statements to the effect where Minister Ali Sabri directly addressed Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister. He said, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's throwing these allegations every now and then. He welcomed a former Nazi war veteran into the Canadian Parliament. He also made accusations about genocide in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has not committed any genocide. What for? Just because you're a President's Council and just because you have the gift of the gap, you should know when to speak, when not to speak. And if a junior politician like me understands this, I really don't understand the logic behind his thinking. Why did we have to get involved in this? Did India ask us to? No. Why would India ask us to? What do we have to offer to India? We only have land and infrastructure to offer to India. Other than that, India gains nothing from us. And Canada, mind you, for us, has been a great friend of Sri Lanka. I know the current High Commissioner. I've associated the previous High Commissioner very closely. They've been nothing but helpful to our country. And they have supported our country during reconciliation. They have, really, really been there for us. And why in God's name did we have to get involved in this? What a right royal diplomatic mess.
Indeed. But do you, very quickly, as we come to the end of this Talk of the Town edition, Rehan, do you think that Mr. Sabri got carried away because he's come up within this ambience of impunity that they think they can do just about anything, and then he all of a sudden forgot that he decides to lecture the Canadian Prime Minister? Do you think it's coming from this sort of impunity?
For us, let me tell you something. Now, I started my career as the chairman of the Veligama Urban Council. Why? Because both my granduncles were politicians. One of them died in 1992. The other one passed away in somewhere around 2000 or 2002. But when I entered politics, because this nepotism talk was so strong, I made up my mind that being the relative of a politician should be a disqualification, neither should it be a qualification. So what did I do? I started off at the bottom. Now I ask you, what is Mr. Sabri's entry to politics? We have multiple numbers of president's councils in this country. So what made him so special? Let me tell you. What made him special is that he represented Gotabaya Rajapaksa in 25 of his court cases. He was and still continues to be a prominent Rajapaksa crony. He speaks so blatantly about cronyism, but he's a product of cronyism. And not only did he become the finance minister at one point, later on he got promoted as a foreign minister. Now, if I'm not qualified to speak on foreign affairs, what qualifies Minister Ali Sabri to speak about foreign affairs? What qualifies him? He is nothing but a stooge of the former president. And he is the person who compared the former president to Lee Kuan Yew. He said that he should have called it not Lee Kuan Yew. He should have rephrased it and said, this is what we are going to produce is Lee Kuan Yew. That's what he should have preached. So what business does he have in all this? He should stick to his practice. And he should go away from the political system, because he's a product of the failed regime of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
Thank you. Just before I end, I thought I'd just ask you, what was the name of that Anglican school you went to?
St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia.
Oh, well, there's no other school to go to than that. Well done. But honestly, Lanka me pasale tamai honda ma pasale, really. And we must believe in that. But Rehan Jayawickreme, it's been amazing talking to an old Thomian. Thank you very much.
Thank you for us. Have a great day.
And you too. Take care and God bless you. And that's the way it was on Talk of the Town. And it's now back to the studio with Dom and Asanka.